Hi Transformer fans, it's Evan. I'm coming to you today because it's been a bit, and I kind of wanted to walk you through what's going to be shipping hopefully to all your homes very soon, but I have Liokaiser right here, and this is a final sample. I apologize that I did not get a chance to walk you through our EP1 selection. Obviously, we've done a lot more conventions than we have in the past, so that ate up a lot of my extra time that I usually had to film these things. Also, with the build-up to the move, from the Hasbro office move that's coming up, things have been just ever so slightly hectic, and there's been a lot of moving around, so we didn't have as readily access to photo studios as we normally do. But coming to you now, gonna show you off the final sample of Liokaiser. So please walk through this with me, and hopefully you guys are excited. But here we have a fantastic box that we'll see, and then hopefully you guys have your tools ready. Obviously, please be safe. But inside this box is actually, big surprise, another box. So it has become standard for our Haslabs to be shipped in double shippers to kind of protect the pristine packaging. There's a lot of box collectors out there. Transformers is kind of on the low end of that, but we do it as sort of a standard now. So, get out. Box number 2. And destroy my studio that I have Jaruga. There we go. Alright. Second box. Yes. Do we just destroy everything here? It's okay, it's okay. We're almost done. Okay. And inside, we'll be greeted with our wonderful package that was designed by Amy on our packaging team. So, it's got corner protectors on all 4 corners. Oh, it comes out so easily. Thank God. So. Okay. So, I know this has already been making the rounds online, which is why I kind of wanted to walk you through it all. Our amazing packaging illustrations brought to you by Guido. We have wonderful eco foil right here, the metallic purple font stamp that we got, that we did for Deathcobra and also on Victory Saber. Showing off this package, which I think is beautiful. So now, let's open it up. Okay, let's be careful. Okay, here we go, right there. So, standard to what we did, with Omega Prime. We got 4 boxes, Cybertronian, A, B, C, D. Should be able to just, you can pull them all out. Let's do one at a time. If you don't mind. So, and then of course on the inside, I am happy to announce that we have returned to booklet. It is no longer a get lost in the middle of Ohio map that we had previously, so hopefully that makes things a little bit easier. We did hear everybody's, we'll just say, comments on Omega Prime, so hopefully this is a little bit easier to flip through. So, this box contains your base, the weapons, the electromagnetic nunchaku, and I think that's it. Yeah, the base and the stand. So, just next one. I'm kind of going out of order, but here we go. So this is all of the chest animals, and we have Hellbat, a Guyhawk, and Leozac right there, and also the weapons for Killbison. Oh, here we go. Our wonderful Deathcobra and our Drillhorn. Put that out there. Oh, and there we go. Then we got the legs, Jaruga, and Killbison. So, alright, I will open these up. Let me just move some of the packaging a little bit. Alright, so here you have your Decepticon Chestforce right out of the package. Obviously, you get a bunch more. You get 2 more parts of the base over there and 2 more stands, but fitting in what I can fit in into my camera feed right here. So what I'm going to do is I'll go through each one of these one by one, kind of show you off articulation, I'll transform them, and then I'll combine them together. So I guess let's start with Leozac. Okay, so starting out with the leader of the group, here we have Leozac in his Jet Alt mode. Just some of the features of his Jet Alt mode is obviously his wings can come forward and back. He has a rail in his legs, and that is for connection with the base. All of our jets and Deathcobra can do this so that you can attach them to that base and pose them out like they are flying. And then for conversion, we'll leave the chest animal in. It's easy enough. So, let's pop these out. So, hands are on a ball joint, so you do get wrist swivel. Obviously, you get bicep bend and rotation. Fold these panels down, fold in the tail fins, fold back the arm connections for when he is a combiner, bend the knees, rotate the head, and you've got your Leozac ready to fight Star Saber. And speaking of, just gonna compare. Yoink! I believe this is show accurate. Leozac was incredibly small compared to Star Saber in the anime, so we were very much matching that. However, let me pop out Saber real quick, because I believe they are relatively the same size. Press the release. So, come on out. Let me just convert him real quick. Saber. Oof. So yeah, Saber was roughly, I think, 4.5 inches. So, you can kind of see where Leozac kind of towers above him just a little bit in this form. But, either way, moving on. Obviously, Saber, get out of here for a second. Okay. So, it's gonna knee bend, just like that. Toe articulation, just because, one, that's kind of the landing gear for when he is in his jet mode. He can, of course, does have a waist swivel. You do, to get the full 180, you do kind of have to pop his back, and that's just due to the conversion into his combiner mode. Head sculpt came out fantastic. Shusan did a fantastic job with this. And, of course, we can remove his chest animal. Let's convert that real quick. First we'll go to the blaster mode, which is just flipping out the tail. And then attaching it just like that. So. And now his Decepticon emblem is more visible. We tried to make sure that everybody had a Decepticon emblem that was visible once you removed the chest animal. But you'll be seeing that in a moment. And then, of course, let's convert chest animal. Easy enough. Pop out the head. Put in the handle. Angle the tail up. And then just rotate out. Whoops, sorry. Rotate out his legs. It is funny, when we were pitching this, obviously our marketing team was like, so these chest animals are technically core class, and it's like, no, they are maybe Titan class. But we wanted to make sure that we got them all in there, just because they're so iconic to each of the characters. You know what, I won't convert him just yet into his combined form part, because I want to show them all in robot mode next to each other. So, moving on. Alright, so moving on, now we have Hellbat. Obviously, we have to call him Hellbat due to trademark reasons. The only features in jet mode is landing gear. Boop, pops out just like that. Pops back in just like that. For conversion, I am going to remove Hellbat just because you have to bend his waist in order to convert, and that does end up popping off the bat. So, here, we're going to put his arms out like that, fold back the nose cone, pop out the hands. I'm going out of order, but that's fine. Rotate the head. And now we are going to... Oh, yeah, that's right. So the tail fin splits and can flatten just like that. This was pretty much done just so that we can get the package step down a little bit because that made him so much taller. So, bend his waist just like that. The waist is also where his hip rotation is. So yes, he does have pelvis rotation. So I'm sorry if that wasn't clear previously. All right, and then split his legs. Do our, I always call this the eating the knee trick. There we go. Just like that. Just like that. And fold his wings back. You have Hellbat. And now, actually, let's make sure that his bat chest is on. There we go. Ta-da! Hellbat. So, he has all of the standard articulation that we've been going through previously. Bicep bend, rotation. As I said, he can rotate his hips, but it does cause bat chest to pop off, but I'm sure you can find fun ways to pose him out. I know I have on my desk. But yeah, just like that. So let's, to convert to blaster mode, just pop out the blaster tail, and then he's already got the handle peg already out, because that's what connects him to his chest. And voila, just like that. There's his blaster mode. And then, easiest conversion into bat mode. You just flip the barrel, just like that, and then fold out the wings. And then you can pop his head up, just like that. And then we did put the head on a hinge so that it can be posed out flying, just like that. If you want him to be posed out flying. But yeah, that's Hellbat. Him and Guyhawk share the pretty much exact same transformation, and same with Deathcobra, just because they become arms. So, speaking of, let's move on to Guyhawk.
Yeah.
Alright, here we have Guyhawk. Moving on. Same features and functions that you've seen for all the other jets, so I'm just gonna pop off his chest. Fold back his wings, flip down his nose cone. Legs right in, turn around his head, pop out the arms, pop out the hands. Let's give him his waist bend. Oh, the good Brit. The ratchet clicks. Oh, that's very nice. Split the hand down here so that his legs can separate. Gonna pop that panel. Gonna extend his knees. Just like that. Gonna extend. Just like that. Fold back the tail fins. Oh. Guyhawk. Oh, sorry. Now he's Guyhawk. Or at least now he's finished Guyhawk. There we go. Much better. So, yeah. All the same articulation that you just saw with Hellbat and Leozac. So I will just pop off his chest animal. All it does to be held, you just have to pop it off, and then the handle's already there because that's his attachment point for when he's in robot mode. So there you go. And then for conversion for that, it is flipping the head, and then flipping out the wings. There you go. Just like that. So, moving on then. Sorry, Guyhawk, you're too cool for school, so we're gonna move on to the next character. You know what, since we're talking about the arms and all the flying vehicles, let's just talk about Deathcobra. Obviously, our 7th member has never had a toy before, so it's very exciting to finally bring him into the fray, and I like to think that whenever we finally get to make a toy of a character that has appeared in entertainment, that now they've sort of been solidified, and that there can be future toys of them. At least that's always the hope and the dream. But yeah, Deathcobra, famously showed up in one episode and then died, and is a helicopter. So conversion's very simple. I am going to pull off his chest animal. He uses similar parts to Hellbat and Guyhawk, so his conversion is very similar. I am going to take off his propeller, just like that. So, I'm going to flip up that, and his beautiful head sculpt. We got his arms.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, man, they were tapped in there. Okay. So, connect his leg. He's got like a very unique thigh rotation, just like that for his conversion. There we go. He also has heels, just from the weight. In order to get this other one out, though, you kind of gotta shimmy. There we go. Just because in fist, rotate everything. Fold back those parts. About his hands. Make sure everything is locked in. Tabbed in. There we go. And let's attach his Cobra chest. So, you can leave the propeller on if you wanted. It's just easier to take it off. So it actually has a 5mm port, so he can attach it to his forearm if you wanted to use it as a weapon. Or you can move the blaster up and then just attach it right back here. Or he can hold it, or you can leave it in there. Whatever you want to do. It's just a little bit easier to take it off, so that's what I did. Just like that. And here you have Deathcobra. So he's got the same articulation as everybody else that you have seen. Bicep, hand rotation, waist swivel. But you do kind of have to take off his chest animal in order to achieve it. His head sculpt came out fantastic. Obviously leg bend, knee rotation. And then, of course, the ankle tilts in all the characters are kind of built into the feet, but it does help with their dynamic posing. So, chest animal. All I have to do is flip that out. Oh, actually, you know what? What am I doing? You gotta go to the blaster first. There we go. All you gotta do is flip out the blaster at the end of the tail. Voila. And now he's got his Cobra blaster. And then turn it into the animal. Just go like that. Pop out the head. Oh, no. He's a Cobra. Just like that. But, to me, he is most iconic right there on the chest. There we go. Alright, moving on to the next character. Alright, we're talking about the land vehicles now, so let's start with the legs, or I guess the pair of pants. Jaruga. So, he is a dune buggy. A missile dune buggy, because why not? His tires are a matte black, and the rest of his body is more of a lighter, glossier black. We were trying to match the animation colors with that. It was a very subtle difference, so we were happy to get that in there. Obviously, the entire thigh piece becomes like a missile pod thing. And here, and to take it off, is attached to that. There we go. That. And so here is Jaruga by himself. For conversion, easy enough. Let's remove his feet missiles first. Pop his feet out. Set those aside. Put those down. Fold back that part. Rotate his head. Rotate his arms and his hands. That will attach feet pods. Just like that. Okay, so, Jaruga's articulation. So obviously he's got waist swivel, thigh bend, he's got a great knee bend, but that's because of his conversion. Head rotation, shoulders going any which way, biceps, rotation, bend, wrist, rotation. Yeah, and so this is him. Moving on to the chest animal, and this is the one change that I think has happened since we've shown him off. We had to change the color of his chest animal's legs. This was because there kept being streaks and transfer onto his chest whenever he would stay in, and if you would leave it in for an extended period of time because we were painting them. And we didn't want that to happen, so what we did is we actually moved these legs into the Guyhawk mold, into one of the Guyhawk molds. The only thing is now they are PA, so they couldn't be painted. So color's a little bit different, but it is as close as we could get it. Hopefully that is okay, because... Oh, sorry, dude. There we go. Stand down there for a second. Blaster mode. Pop that out. Pop out the tail, and then you can hold it just like that. We got his blaster. Then let's convert him into his cat mode. Pop out the head. Rotate the legs. Just like that. Here you have the cat mode. So, yep. That is Jaruga, revealing, obviously, the Decepticon symbol right there. So, moving on to the next. Let's go to Drillhorn next. He is a drill tank. These things are totally real. What are you talking about? But I do love him. So, his drill is on a 5mm port, so it does rotate. You can also just take it off if you would like and swap it. You can put other things there if you would like. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. I'm not going to stop you. So, he's got the wheels that we have added. So, yeah, he can roll very nicely now. Conversion's very simple. Let's flip back his drill. Pop up in these back pieces, and then open up those pieces just like that, and that allows you to extend his legs and kind of see how, yeah, there it is. There's a port right there, connects to that port right there to lock in his legs, so they're not going anywhere, and then press these in the back and those tap them in. Split his arms. You can flip back the treads, and this is to match animation. When we started this, Shu and I were talking about matching, like, do we match animation or do we match toy? Because Drillhorn's toy is very different from this animation model. So we decided to go with the animation model and have these parts flip back. But yeah, here you go. Here is Drillhorn with his blue face, which... I always love it when the bots, like, in our continuity, do different colored faces instead of just, like, our stock standard silver. It just makes them stand out. It makes them more iconic to me. So I always was very happy about that. Like, looking at his character design, like, oh, he's blue all over. He's part of the Blue Man group. But yeah, so, here we have him, articulation-wise. So, he has waist rotation, leg bend, knee bend. Obviously, he's got big chunky legs because he is a leg himself. They do rotate in any and all direction. He's got ankle articulation down in the feet, just like the others, so he can pose out in however dynamic poses you want to do. I know people were always asking about how we did these shoulders like this. I always thought this looked good just because it allows him to give like a very stoic presence, like with how wide and tall the shoulders are. But yeah, arm articulation up, just like that. Rotation, bend at the elbow, and then of course he's got a wrist rotation as well. Just like that. So then, let's pull out his chest animal. Just like that. Oh yeah, that's right. So... these are the one guys that don't have Decepticon symbols because we couldn't paint these parts here because they are PA. Because that's essentially the connection point that becomes the knee when he becomes a leg. So, currently when he is without a chest animal, he doesn't have a Decepticon symbol visible anywhere. But it is what it is because that's what we had to do. Pop out the tail, and then that is the blaster mode, just like that. So. we go. Here he is holding the blaster. And then, of course, let's convert it to the Rhino mode. Oh, let go of him. There we go. So, flip in the handle, flip out the head, and then flip out the legs. Just like that. And there you have the Rhino chest animal. Alright, and now let's move on to the last member, and then I'll do some group shots, and then I will combine them. Killbison, the one that everybody assumed we'd have to rename, but we didn't, because we got the trademark, and that was easy. Nothing else has been called Killbison. So here he is in his quote-unquote tank mode. Rotation up here for his turrets. His turrets can move up and down. We have added blast effect ports on the end, just in case you want to attach those, because this obviously becomes the blaster of the combined mode. I'm just going to take those off. Obviously now he has wheels. Conversion is the exact same as Drillhorn that you saw, so we pop these pieces up just like that, then we bend those pieces just like that. This then allows us to extend the legs. Make sure you get them all the way up, and then attach that port to there to lock it in. Lock in, just like that. Split the arms, split the legs, fold out the feet. For him in particular, his head is hidden under here, coming out. That is also what locks him in together. So, rotate his head, flip that out. Then you can flip his shoulder units out, just like that. And this is another one where it was matching the G1 toy or matching the animation, and I will always match the animation. Flip and rotate his hands, and here we go. Got Killbison. It's got a great color scheme. The brown, the yellow, the red, and the gray. It all pops. It really makes him stand out. Moving his chest weapon, just like that. Turning it into the blaster mode. Pop out the tail. Pop out the handle. Just like that. Goes right on to hand. There you go. He has the exact same articulation as Drillhorn before. So, excuse me as I go very quick through that, because this video is going to be very long and it's getting very late. So, moving on to animal mode. Flip out the head, flip in the... Well, actually, yeah, leave the tail out, fold in the handle, not bad. Then flip out the legs. Just like that. There we go. The bison animal. Okay then, so let me get a group shot of all these guys together real quick. Okay, so here we have them all together, and what I'm going to do real quick is that I'm going to combine them, because I'm sure that's the main meat of what you all want to see. So, let's do that one by one as I get them all ready. Okay, starting with the leader, just imagine the black and red grid behind me and the music playing, just to make this more dramatic. So, let's remove the chest animal. First thing we're going to do, we're going to put in his hands, just like that. We're going to pop out his backpack, rotate his legs around, flip open his chest panel, rotate to reveal the combiner head, combine those pieces back together just like that. Make sure that the ears are up because they're on a hinge so that it can compact a little bit more. We are going to combine his legs, flip him up just like that, and then his tail fins actually act as a connection point. So, let me show you. Just like that, and then this recess right there that they click into. Sorry, if it got blurry just there. We go just like that. Oh, we have the chest. Easy enough. Alright, moving on. Hellbat. Moves. Pop in his hands. Rotate his head. bring down his waist, just like that. We're going to half convert him back to his jet mode. So, flipping his legs back in like that. Going to reveal his combiner hand. This was something that Shu and I talked about. Those of you that aren't aware, the original Liokaiser was very special in that it had a very minimal, if any, extra combiner kibble. So we wanted elements of that to still be present in this Haslab. So that's why the hands, the head, and like the feet are built in. And obviously with that came some of the design changes that had to happen for the bots in the vehicle mode to make that happen. But that's essentially part of his DNA, and that was one of the reasons that we wanted to do it. So, flip his head up, just like that, to reveal his shoulder connection joint right there. Flip in the fuel intakes, so that they do not get in the way of his arms. Bicep bend. Alright, next arm. Guyhawk. Moves. Just animal. Flipping hands. Turn the head around. Literally the same transformation, it's just different legs because he is a different arm. Like that. Rotate out the combiner fist. Rotate up to the fuel, or not the fuel, the air intakes, and then to make sure that his head gets back up in there and brings out the combiner joint, just like that. So you have the other arm.
Yoink. Yeah.
Let's get that out of there. Alright, Jaruga and his missile pod base. Set you right down there for a second. Alright, to get Jaruga ready, we are going to remove the missile pods. Actually, we can leave him in, so that's fine. Let's turn his head around, just like that. Rotate his arms. Actually, yeah. Okay. So, bringing in the pair of pants, get them ready to rotate the wheels up to become little side skirts. There we go. I can totally speak English. What are you talking about? Rotate the feet. This slides in on a track, just like that. And then if you want to extra lock it in, you can take the missile pods and attach them here and here. What this does is extra locks in Jaruga to this actual thigh piece, or you can take them off because in the animation these pop on Killbison's turrets to become like their combined mode blaster. There we go. So, put his arms down like that. This is essentially it, because in order for him to combine even further, I have to add in Leozac, but we'll leave this aside for now. Moving on to the next piece. Yoink. Alright. Moving on to Drillhorn. Let's remove the chest animal. Pop open his back, just like that. This then allows you to rotate out the knee connection. It's got a nice little, like, lock-in. You can put back in the chest animal if so you choose. And then essentially it is converting him back into his alt mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate his fists, because they are a connection point for his legs. Just like that. They tab into the side of his waist. Slip around the treads on his shoulders. And then we just convert his legs back into alt mode. So we'll pop open these back pieces, just like this. Pop open the side pieces, just like this. Make him eat his knees, just like that, and then there we go, they all tab together, and then they lock in. Fold up his feet, fold back his heel, and then fold forward his foot. Just like that. You've got a foot. Alright, Moving on then to our last foot. Killbison converts relatively the same way. So we're going to move his chest animal. Going to take off this, just to make it a little bit easier. Lift up his head because that locks in everything. Pop his back, fold in his head, fold out the knee connector. There we go, lock that back in. And then same conversion as Drillhorn. Rotate the hands, attach at the sides. Combine legs, open the legs, make them eat the knees, just like that. Make sure it's straight. Have them all connect and lock in. Rotate back down his shoulder treads. There we go. Fold in his feet. Oh, you know what? Reattach the chest animal if so you choose. Then rotate out the heel. And then just clip my mouse. There we go. Rotate out the other foot. Then here's the other foot. Now let's bring them all together. Start with Jaruga. Come around with Leozac. So there are tracks right here, and then those line up with these grooves on his legs and with his side skirts. So go in just like that, and you press these in to lock it into place, and then legs tab into the back of Jaruga, and then arms. And then feet as well attach up there, and then arms tab in at the side right here. Whoop. There we go. Just to really lock that in. Let's take Guyhawk. Just like that. Hellbat. Just like that, it just slots right in. And for the legs, they just literally, make sure I'm doing the right feet, okay. There we go, they just slide in, and they are ratcheted. The difficulty of doing this is obviously I am in front of a camera, and it makes it a little bit awkward, but there we go. Okay. It is all locked in. Just like that. Here we have him combined. Okay, and then of course the last thing we gotta do is convert Deathcobra into a cannon and to an arm, so I'm gonna show that off right now. I guess let's do arm first for Deathcobra. Take off his chest animal, and then he converts literally just like Guyhawk and Hellbat. So, rotate his head up. Bring that down. Flip open his leg panel. Make him eat his knee. Just like that. That in there. Going to fold in his heel. Then gonna fold in his heel, bring out his fist. Just like that. Gonna hinge out his fingers if you would like. There we go. There we go. Sorry, it's getting twisted around a little bit. Pop out his combiner joint, flip in his hands. Tap those together just like that. Whoop. There we go. The tail fin can just go which way you want it to go. So however you want to pose it out, it can go in down close, it can stay out. I know in our early renders we had it straight out. That was just because of the CAD. I do recommend taking out the propeller, though, because we actually made it so that that attaches to forearm, just like that, so he can use it as like a shield. Fall of Cybertron Bruticus did something very similar, and then of course other giant robots have. And if you wanted, you can attach the chest animal under here, if you want it to still be attached. Before I attach him, let's talk about all the articulation you've got on this big boy right here. So obviously he's got his hip skirt down here. It's entirely one flap that comes up like that. The reason I'm showing that off is he does have waist rotation down there. Thighs can go up and down. He's got ratchets in all of them. He's got a knee bend, just like that. His ankle bend as well to help him pose. Arm's got a ratchet in every direction, which is nice, so he can hold poses very well. The wings on Leozac fold forward, and that is so that they don't get in the way of some of the rotation of the arms, because these are big and bulky. Biceps. He's got an arm rotation, bicep rotation, wrist swivel, finger bend, all the fun premium stuff that we get to do on Haslabs and higher end items. Head rotates and can look up, which is very nice. Okay, so then pop off the arm. Just gonna press down and pull up, which is nice. It's sort of got some spring-loaded systems in there, so it's pressure. So if you apply enough force, it should just pop right off. And then we can just pop on Deathcobra. Playing into the anime when he was going to be a replacement for Hellbat. There you go. And then, of course, he has the same articulation with this arm that all the other arms have as well, which is nice. And now let's do the cannon. Okay. Going from the arm to the cannon mode, essentially what you're doing is you're converting him back into his vehicle mode. So, gotta close up the fist, split the leg, open up that leg panel. I'm going to flip out the heel because I prefer that look. Go to... Come on. There we go. Rotate the fist. That was my issue right there. Lock that in. Going to hose. Actually, you know what? Let's pop out that other heel because I prefer that look. There we go. Combine just like that. Going to pop the head down. What we're going to do is actually make sure that the head locks in and then pop it down. There we go. Now that I've heard the click, bend the feet. I'm going to attach the propeller. Going to bend it back, just like that. Ease these up. We're going to attach the Deathcobra animal, just like this. Here. Just like that. Now let's attach it. Okay. So, in order to attach him, and you could also do this with Hellbat if you would like, first we fold this wing out of the way. We're going to raise up the air intakes on Guyhawk, and then fold down the wings. There we go. Fold the air intakes back, and then what we've done is we've revealed the connection ports. So, and what we've done with Deathcobra is we have covered him in 5mm ports, and this is just so that you can attach all the other chest animals however you like. And then of course, poop, just like that. So, there we go.
Yeah.
Tick this off if you would like, or have it hold it, or you can leave it straight. Whatever you want to do. And then you can take any of the other remaining chest animals, attach them any which way. Just make sure all their blasters are out so that you can make this as ridiculous as possible. There we go. Well, and then for a size comparison, actually, yeah, let's bring in Star Saber. There we go. Okay, so here we have him with his cannon, and then you can rearrange all the chest animals on him however you would like. With it attached, don't worry, he can still go up and down. The ratchets are there to help support it. So you can fire off into the space if you would like. Here we have Star Saber right next to him. So yeah, he's very big. And then of course let's bring in his boss. Let's bring in Deathsaurus. So you can just see height-wise where he nets out. So it does end up being a pretty big bot. Yeah, but this is one of those dream items that was, Mark and I often talk about our bucket list of just like, hey, before we had gotten on this brand, what were the characters we wanted to do? And, yeah, Liokaiser was definitely one of them. And I'm very happy to have worked with Shusan over at Takaratomi to make this happen. But yeah, let's then talk about bases and accessories real quick. And then I'll wrap this up. So, here's the base. You get three of these, one connector piece up here, and then, of course, all of their spare accessories for the electromagnetic nunchaku attached underneath. And then we have these connector pieces so that you can create bigger base. Just like that. And then these two ports right here connect to these two ports down here in this pelvis. Oh. Just like that. Okay. So, bring his legs down so that he can stand on it, or you can have him pose out a little bit more dynamically. Electromagnetic Nunchaku, the chain piece is from the Masterpiece, I believe. What is that, Masterpiece 36 Megatron? It's the same. We only made one chain and we use it wherever we can. Wanted to make sure to get the chain in there. He can, of course, hold this. Just like that. Take off the chain. Attach. Close the fingers. Slide them into the hand, 5mm ports, just like everything always is. Attach them just like that, so you can create his big chain weapon that he uses that has ridiculous powers of shooting off these collar pieces and things like that. And the only last thing would be, obviously, his blaster. So, which is very easy. Some things are in the way, so I'm going to take them off real quick. So let's take off electromagnetic nunchaku real quick. Second. Sorry, Deathcobra, can you come off just for a second? Going to lift the arms up. Going to lower those. We can pull these off Jaruga's feet missiles. And then you can attach them like so. Whoop, sorry, backwards. There we go. Just like so. Which, this was a blaster that he used in the anime. I'm trying to remember if the original toy did it or not. I'm sure it did. So, And then he can, of course, hold that. And it is blast effect compatible. But yeah, okay, so this was essentially just a, I'm not going to say quick, this was a walkthrough of what you all should be expecting, shipping very soon. I don't have a confirmed shipping date, but it's coming up, it's coming close. We're hoping that, I believe the safe answer is we were saying everybody should be shipping by summer. So yeah, everybody look forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing all your photos, seeing the sort of things, the battles that you'll be creating with these, and I'm hoping that we can continue to explore more of the Japanese continuity and get more of those characters, more modern toys. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. I try to answer all of my DMs, but there's a lot of you, so it takes me some time, so sorry about that, but I'll get to them when I can. But yeah, everybody have a good day. Bye.